So, and I presume now you're primarily an affiliate, but you said you're an operator. So yes, you're an affiliate really, right? Okay. And only focused on slots, or are you doing full casino here? Do we have a little to-go mic? We have anybody with a mic? Just so he can be heard. So you got a Facebook group?
Yes, it's a new one.
Are you still buying links from shilpi.info in India?
Probably not.
You may not want to do that anymore.
Yes, I know. There are some mistakes.
Yeah, I think Sorry, I'm generally going to be the
nice guy.
white voice on this panel, I imagine. Yeah. I'll try and bring some of my shady side later, but I think you're going to need some better, stronger links. I'm just finding mainly WordPress themes, .edu type kind of link pages, that kind of stuff.
Squiggly ones?
Some squiggly ones, yes. And a bunch of stuff from Japan, is it? I don't read Japanese, but some character set that doesn't render very well on my screen. Yeah, so I mean, I think something to differentiate you from everybody else who does that would be a good idea. I think we'll be talking generally about I'm going to be talking generally about some ideas I have for some of those tactics. Some cool stuff you can do, yeah, I'm sure some other guys have some stuff jumping in.
Does everybody know what Matt Cutts announced yesterday? Okay, so in the US they've been testing like the content scrapers, the resyndicators, the rewriters, and they've been testing to see how we can filter this stuff out of the SERPs. They rolled it out last night, so apparently it's affecting around about 2% of all queries at the moment. So any of the backlinks that you're getting from people that are basically just using like the RSS to blog shit, so it's just that's all gone. Yeah, it's gonna, and if it'll have a negative effect, it'll just be like dampened to anything. So if you're using your websites and you're actually using like the RSS to blog stuff just to like put content in there, you'll burn them now. I don't know how successful it's going to be. Because we reckon that at one time there's almost like 30% of all
this related search
content was actually duplicate content. Yeah. So that's massive.
The update they've actually pushed out so far doesn't kill that stuff.
It just
makes
the
sure
most peculiar what?
Number one. So the best example is I don't know if you guys are familiar with Stack Overflow.
Yeah, that's one.
Which is just scraped to hell, right? Because it's Creative Commons license, so you're kind of allowed to scrape it, I guess. But sites like what's the famous
Demand Media?
No, the Stack Overflow one that always ranks, eFreedom or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
You'll now still see it ranking, but it'll rank below Stack Overflow. So the first change they pushed out is just make sure Stack Overflow always ranks number one versus its own scrapers. We're kind of anticipating that's going to go further, and you might have seen me on Twitter talking about shorting Demand Media. If anybody here has
30 days, dude,
knows of good ways to do that, then come grab me afterwards.
They actually released a press release yesterday saying that they're actively going after all the people that's been plagiarizing them.
Right.
So do you guys understand what they're saying there? So essentially, the people that go out and grab up multiple chunks of content and then redistribute it, you see it all the time. I mean, Mahalo is a place where this happens.
Lovely Mahalo. Did you see Jason Calacanis commented on Matt Cutts' announcement?
Yeah, like
saying, don't worry, we're doing good content now, and we're investing heavily in video. That's what he said.
Please don't ban us again.
Yeah, it was on Hacker News, I think. Matt submitted it to Hacker News, just the comment. Worth reading, I think, just because. Jason's always good for a laugh, right?
Yeah, so essentially they use the authority their sites have as big content sites to grab up pieces of content like you guys might write for, say, Super Bowl or big events, and then republish it on their site. They point to you, but they don't follow. And they basically, because they have a lot more authority, they rank higher for your document, thus stealing your content. So Google's going to finally fix that, apparently.
Well, one of the things that we found was that a site that was we would like writing original content. Well, the client was writing original content, publishing it, and the scraper was just quicker at getting the right social media signals. So it'd be like bang out onto like 10 Twitter feeds immediately, and it was like it'd be submitted to Dig by 4 or 5 different accounts. Now these are all little crappy accounts, but Google's still seen them, and it was just like the social kind of like indicator said this must be the real article and this must be the fake. So we were always number 2. Even though that we'd written the content. So what we did is said, okay, because we were doing full feed publication, is just we just wind it down and start faking like the headlines in them. So we're putting different titles on the blog and then different titles within the post. So it's a
But
way
all
of,
that effort, presumably now, are you seeing that effective? Is the
I've
website?
not checked it. Well, I'm just trying to check it.
I mean,
now.
that's the intention of this update,
Yeah.
right? And I think it's pretty thinly veiled Matt was talking about going after, I mean, he didn't actually say demand media, but basically going after.
Have you guys viewed the source yet, by the way?
Let me guess, that's a view state.
Have you guys viewed the source?
No, just looking at the links.
Oh, view state? Nice.
Nice.
No,
It's not the
I
biggest.
love ASP, yeah.
It's not the biggest I've seen. I think the biggest one I've seen was like 1 gig's worth of view state. I'm like, dude, that's awesome.
So your subdomains are all set up for languages, nothing else?
Wow.
Yeah.
The main
Well,
one
your subdomains. You've got subdomains, right? Correct?
subdomain, yes.
Yeah. How many?
4.
4? Just language only?
Yes, of course.
How many gigs is your view state? We're almost there. Oh,
One of the things I would say to clients is print your that onto paper. And if you get bored before you get to the content, you're doing something really badly wrong. You don't need to have a view state in there.
More than likely, it's just something that the
Lazy
IIS,
programmers
yeah,
do.
and ASPX just kind of throws in there. Not needed at all.
Why does it affect things like tweet, meme and stuff like that?
Could do.
Probably a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know how much search traffic they get. Anyway.
and so are you doing much your own program? Do you have in-house team on this, or are you jobbing this out, the development?
Development by CMS. It's ASP LLC.
Okay.
Company.
Which CMS?
Which CMS? It's a
Is
private
it,
one.
is it Ectron?
No, it's a private one.
Oh yeah, Ectron's lovely. That was sarcasm.
I think I was just looking at the, you've got the social media buttons up at the top, Twitter and Facebook, that kind of stuff, which seems like there's not a lot going on there. Yeah.
Yes, I know. That's what I said. Actually, the look and feel, the new look and feel, it's something like 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, and all the social media. I know that you're focusing on this one, but actually the new one, the Twitter and the Facebook, it came with the new look and feel. So don't focus on this one because there is no match.
Sure. All I was going to say is I think with the social media stuff, I would either make that, like, push it, make it a big focus, do it right, and rather than just the broadcast type stuff, make sure that it's actually kind of engaging and that the main point is building a community there, right? Getting people coming back to your site and using you all the time. Whereas if you're just looking to be a kind of one-stop shop, a kind of a people land on you, click your link, and then you never see them again, then you don't even need to put the effort in, right?
Of course, this is one of the changes because
Yeah, in all honesty, I wouldn't have your little social media chiclets up there at all, except for on pages that are actually going to be social worthy. I mean, right now you've got them on, looks like it's across the board, site-wide. Get rid of them.
Funny on all
There's no need for it at all. Put them in the content of like your how to play, articles like that, to where
Like on all these
it's actually
WordPress
something
blogs,
people
yeah,
would
it's
want to
like in
socialize.
the file.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's just kind of a waste of space.
but it will be pushed in 1 or 2 pages, but I want it site-wide. Why not?
Why would somebody want to socialize or tweet about the Wynn Palace Casino?
because
Again, it comes
new
down
bonus,
to intent.
New
and
bonus, it's attractive. People look for it. Why not?
are you finding that people are actually looking for it
Yes.
and interacting?
Yes, they're looking for the bonuses,
Interesting.
for the bonus codes. This is the traffic. Maybe it's not like the poker or the bingo, but slot players, they are doing it.
And people are actually interacting with your buttons?
In the
People are interacting, or are you just doing the interaction?
don't do it. It's new.
I'm sorry?
You're talking about the social media
Yeah.
buttons? I thought it's new, so they don't know. Still didn't analyze it.
Check it. What's the following script called?
Why?
Adam?
Any? Do you see any reward to your footer links back to yourself, or the one at Google? Does that do anything for you? I mean, yeah, you're on your footer. You've got you've got this outbound Google link.
Google link. Why should I put it?
Oh, well, I'm just curious. So,
Yeah, why are you linking to Google?
yeah, why are you letting that link authority on your homepage go to the biggest link authority monster in the world?
This is part of our analysis. I see it maybe reasonable, maybe important.
Definitely not.
I know
At
that
all.
it's not kind of a toolbar, because in a toolbar people will use it. But actually, one of my questions is, should I or should I not put some links to authority sites?
Yeah, I mean, just drop links to Bodog.
Okay.
No, you should definitely be linking
Without
with-
any tracker.
to other authority sites, but Google is not the authority site you want to be linking to.
Okay, so what do you recommend?
Possibly a wiki article or another resource site or something of that nature.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, that kind of
And
thing.
don't do it site-wide.
In the UK, on the 10th of March, you're going to be breaking the UK laws because you're not linking to Gamble Aware as well. So, good job, you're not.
First of March, right?
Well, and then also just from a purely like conversion standpoint, right? Say they get to the bottom of your page and they haven't found what they wanted. Why do you really want to send them to Google where they'll maybe go search slots and then end up in Jackpot City without your affiliate ID? Are you dropping?
It's part of the my SEO analysis.
Okay. So you do see any reward to it though?
Actually, I don't know if it helped or not, but this is one of the reasons that
I wouldn't link to them. If you were a search engine, yeah, bingo. You know what I mean? It's like link to them, but you're not. You're a casino slot type thing. So link to, you know what I mean? Like link to like the people that you can. Not so much influence. It's like you got to be careful because obviously you don't want to make yourself look like you're actually just selling links out of your website. But it's one of those things that Google has always looked for something that is most relevant for its user. So if you have got a website that ranks #1 for casino, okay, and you link to like the big casino players, like just look at the top 10. It's like who are the online casino players? Who are the local casinos? Link to a few like the casinos, real casinos in Vegas and stuff like this in an article. Google will give more credence over that because it's like it doesn't make it look like you're just trying to make money out of it. It's
part
actually
of the content.
it was inside the content. Yeah.
And your site-wide link like that is not a good thing.
Yeah.
How can you explain that the top five in the casino industry sites, they have some links to demos, the Google, same as I.
Yeah, it absolutely helps.
Why?
them. Regardless of what they think, it doesn't help them at all.
Okay.
It actually will hurt them.
I might start linking to stuff randomly on my sites.
If you did it, other people would.
Yeah. You know, it is. It's like because
Everything you read on the internet isn't true.
Yeah.
No?
Turns out.
And
mind you, then everything you hear in
Okay.
conferences
I'll set
is
this domain.
also not
Okay.
true. So maybe the link to Google is a big thing, but we don't want you to know about it.
we're trying to keep it for
You
ourselves.
got to link to my website. That's the key.
Yeah, if you link to Bronco, that totally helps you rank.
So I'll link back to you.
What do you think about the Google ads? I know, except of making money.
Hold it close to your mouth.
Okay. What do you think about the Google ads? Not just making money, if it helps for SEO.
No,
It
should
certainly
not.
doesn't help for
No.
SEO. If anything, it can hinder you on SEO. If you've got a themed website, AdSense is basically going to be looking at what ads are delivering to you.
AdSense.
If you're delivering traffic back, oh, do you mean like buying? Sorry, Google Ads is in like AdSense or AdWords.
Are you talking about
No,
publishing?
I'm talking about AdSense.
Okay, yeah.
But
So-
actually, you know that Google, we don't know if Google have clear things about having partners, because maybe they like more for SEO.
No.
The people,
It's a myth.
No,
it's a myth.
It's not true.
Yeah, different departments, different people.
Most people
I'm
in the
not
search
pretty sure
department
why
don't even know what the
no
other ones
real.
do.
The only correlation between AdWords, personally, I think there's no correlation between AdSense and Google Organic.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's
But
what.
AdWords, the only real correlation is that because you're getting so much traffic, it does send the right quality signals, and you've got the ability to ring up an account manager and say, dude, why do we get banned? I'm pulling my 10 million budget right now.
Yeah, and two other things. If you're a big enough spender, you sometimes can get heads up ahead of time about big changes coming down the pipe. Not necessarily if they're going to impact you. And the other one is actually you build links, right? If your site's good and you're having more traffic results in more links because you're driving paid search traffic, but some of those turn into users, some of them love your stuff, some of them link to you. So AdWords can definitely help, but it's not a direct, Google doesn't like you just because you're spending money and therefore rank you better.
So you guys,
Although you know, I hear that story. I got told that story like, okay, if you use AdWords, your SEO will go up because you spend money with Google. Then I heard another guy saying, if you spend money with AdWords, you rank less. Like you don't rank
Because
that
they
good in
want your
Google
money.
because they want your money. It's like, dude,
But
you
no,
know,
Google is a public-
just pick your mystery. You know,
Yeah,
Just really
Google is a
pick
publicly traded company which has regulated by the FCC. They cannot legally do that.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, speak to like Germany about what the German government think about Google. Think to the UK government what UK government thinks about Google.
Yeah.
They may be like traded under the FCC. It doesn't mean that they're always in those guidelines. It's kind of like a bit fluffy around the edges. Your Twitter account, like you're following no one and no one's following you. It's like use something like TweetAdder.
This is the beginning.
Yeah, use TweetAdder.
Tweetadder.com. It's
Yeah.
actually great software.
It's basically it'll plug into it. You can then do timed releases. Check out when you get the most interaction between when you actually. Obviously, you're getting no interaction at the most. If no one's following you, no one's seeing this. You know what I mean? It's not like the search engine where it's going to give quality signals. So TweetAdder will basically, you can put in keywords, it'll search for users that are discussing those keywords, it'll auto follow them, then auto drop them. A lot of people you auto follow will auto follow you, so you kind of get the blend right. Try and keep it to I like 5-to-1 ratios. I think the golden number for following people is 666. I've done it for a long time now. It seems to work.
Works for
really
you,
well. I have about 8,000 followers, so.
The other thing I see on here which may cause a problem is you've got a time date stamp on every single page that's the same.
Yeah, Yahoo used to hate that.
Sorry. Actually, I'm not. Okay.
I would
can you
remove
repeat
it.
Can you repeat and explain?
Google is starting to has started treating sites differently that are time date stamped. So it's one of those things that it's not, in my opinion, at least for usability, it's not needed there. Just remove it.
It also,
And especially if it shows up in the SERPs.
Yeah.
It shows up in the SERPs. You know, you search for free online slots, and you have the 27th of September 2006 in front of it because just Google puts
this
it there.
updates daily.
Huh?
This updates.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Daily.
still
Yeah.
stupid, right?
yeah.
It's like,
So you've got a blog that doesn't have a date stamp. So the signal you send it to Google is that every day your blog content was published on this day, today. You know what I mean? So it's awesome from the Freshbot, but they don't trust it. So there's a kind of like a weird thing that goes on every now and again that you'll get de-indexed, but if you set the date stamps within inside Google, so like search back a year ago, and then all of a sudden, hey presto, you're back at number 1. It's like it's because they just went, this is just such old news now. But it's the same that no website publishes that much content every day fresh. So you're basically telling Google that this document was published on Saturday, January the 29th, 2011. Are there any US casinos left in the game? I don't know when you published that. It could have been yesterday, a couple of days ago, 3 days ago. So either date stamp them so that they get old, and after about 6 months, de-date stamp them. If you look at my blog at the moment, we're running some tests that we don't actually have the year in there anymore. which is like was ultimately funny to start off with, but people then start going, oh, this is like 8 years old, dude. It's like if you look at the article, it is actually 8 years old. Yeah.
It was the time before the internet.
So yeah, so make sure the date.
Actually, it's offline. It's not
it's
an
like-
article. But do you think the date should be automatic?
I honestly, I wouldn't,
Just don't bother.
unless
I
the
just
date
drop-
is there
What?
for usability and
One
it helps
say
you
yes,
convert.
one say no.
No, definitely don't have the date there, in my opinion. This isn't fresh content. I mean, you know, your pages, your homepage, things like that. If you in your own like investigation can actually determine that the date, having the date on there converts better for you, then that's another thing. Then make it an image. You know, but I would have it removed. There's just no point in it being there.
So guys, should we move on to some of the big sites we were originally talking about?
Yeah.
I guess the next one.
I had a question just on this.
Sure.
Is about page sculpting. How does page sculpting work and how does it affect your page rank?
I'm gonna pass this one right over to Will.
Just can you mind saying that one more time, just in case people didn't hear it?
Hi guys. Hey, wow, this is really
I
good.
think you might be.
Mistaken
Sorry,
me
one
for
second,
the
I wanna
other
ask my
guy.
question.
I think you might be
Yeah.
conflating me with.
Yeah, you know.
But I'll take it anyway.
You want me to ask the question again?
Yeah, if you don't mind,
Back
just so
here?
everybody hears it, that'd be
I'm
great.
interested about page sculpting and how it affects PageRank.
PR sculpting.
Yeah. So PageRank. I think. Well, so let's start from the
You
beginning.
enjoy talking to the microphone now as well, so I've never heard my voice so loud.
Starting from the beginning, PageRank as in
kinda like it.
the
Yeah,
stuff that
yeah.
appears in Google
Elvis is out
Toolbar,
the
just for
building.
the record, ignore that, right? We're talking here about the PageRank, the internal PageRank value.
Moving from page to page internally on your
But
site.
and I think it's, you know, obviously it used to be the case that with enough PageRank you can rank just for anything. You don't need relevance, you don't need all that other stuff. It was just PageRank. PageRank's still a factor, and this is why we're suggesting getting good links. I personally wouldn't worry too much about trying to manipulate where you link internally, apart from just building a sensible information architecture. So the kind of PageRank sculpting that I'm a fan of is building a site that links to the right pages in the right places.
Yeah,
Fair?
I mean, it's the classic one I saw was a guy rang me up and said, look, it's like, I read when SEO Moz published the page sculpting thing, it's like, I've spent a lot of money, I've just had my website all re-sculpted, and I've actually dropped from like my main keyword term. I'm like, that's really bizarre. His privacy policy page had one link that had his main keyword in it, going back to the homepage. He'd basically taken every bit of link equity from his website off his privacy policy page. His privacy policy page was like the same page rank as his homepage. And it was like, dude, I think you want to like let the equity flow back into this page. I think that was most probably giving you like a nice little good quality indicator.
So what I mean, I think the point here is Google's become a pretty complex system. I'm not sure that they can even say for certain what the effect will be of you adding or removing a no-follow, for example, without trying it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it has so many different factors. There's the impact on your on the page you're linking to. There's the impact on the pages that page links to. There's the impact on the page doing the linking. There's all kinds of trust factors. I mean, we've definitely seen some of the stuff that some of the clients of Rands that did stuff that we've definitely seen uplifts.
Yeah.
But who knows why, right?
take it
It's
off
not
and talk
necessarily
about
for the reasons that everybody originally thought it was. And when Matt
talk to
Cut's
that
talking
mic.
about how no follow doesn't work that way anymore, I think there are still effects like that. But I wouldn't be trying to micromanage that. I would be trying to. I think it's a diminishing returns, unless you're already running a huge site that is having problems because you're getting duplicate content indexed and you've got worthless pages all over the shop. I just wouldn't worry about it. I would focus far more on.
I mean,
doing the right
I think one of the reasons why Matt came out and said internal no follows, we don't even look at those anymore. I think it was that there was so many like false negatives that they just didn't really know what the hell, how to handle it. You know what I mean? It wasn't designed for that, and therefore let's just discount it because it's having weird effects on sites that we want these sites to rank properly, but because they've implemented no follows in the wrong way, then this is bad. You know what I mean? I've just been speaking to a guy recently that every link on his homepage is no follow, and I'm like, dude.
And that's done under any method.
Yeah. I mean, like, dude, you just don't rank for anything, and it's because of this. And he's like, what is no follow? And you know what I mean?
It's also, I think they're
it's
not
because
necessarily
it's a
restricting
word.
it offsite.
Well, it's not. It's because it was a. Sometimes, you know.
I've seen some weird things with it as well, but I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, if you want to like push, let's forget the word PageRank. If you want to push link equity around in your site, use your architecture to do it. There are a ton of ways to actually push it around without using no follow at all. I honestly won't use it on any site I work with. I actually will use architecture to do it, which means if I don't want a page to push equity to a page, I don't link to it, or if I do, then I'll use JavaScript or Ajax or even Flash, something of that nature. I mean, it really just depends on the situation in itself.
So if a page has equity,
Yeah.
and you're launching some new pages, is there any benefit in actually just doing those link throughs and just keeping a small number of link throughs from the equity page to those new pages?
It could definitely help. I mean, it really just depends on the architecture. It's kind of a question that you
Link
have
to
to
your
look
good
at.
pages from the right places.
Yeah.
Well, that's
what we're saying, right?
I mean, one of
That's
the
like
things
a
we
great
do
tip,
is
right?
that One of the things that we build in-house for most sites that we work on is that we'll take a website and we look at the template, and then we'll build a script that strips out like the navs and all the rest of it that we don't want. Then we'll spider the whole site and match that to the keywords that we really want to target, and then basically page rank every page in the site and go, okay, this page here is a page rank 6. It's got the mention of these 3 keywords that we want to target. That goes to the top of the list. This is a 6. It's got 2. And then we go through and say, okay, can we have links in that content back to these pages?
Are you okay if I leave you?
I think a lot of the nav stuff just gets kind of like blocked out.
Have you seen the patent? Who's the patent lawyer? SEO by the Sea.
Oh yeah.
Bill.
Bill.
Wrote about a bunch of stuff they're doing on classifying page areas.
Yeah.
So they
Lot level
know
analysis.
what footer links are. They have for years. They know what sidebar links are. They know what in-content links are. They know what nav links are. So it comes back to building a good website, right?
Yeah.
They're getting much better at actually aligning those signals with stuff that your users want.
And that also transfers over to link acquisition as well.
Marcus, did you find something you wanted to show before we move on to full tilt?
Yeah, just something quick. First with hello. First with the links. Yeah, this is like I think you don't have a single good link on your site. The only stuff I found is like WordPress, like the WordPress. You just sponsored a WordPress theme and block spam. This is like really sending the wrong signal to Google that you have a valuable site. But like on the on-page stuff, I still found something which is pretty funny because let me ask you this: your site slots.com. Basically, your main keyword is slots or online slots, right? And the thing is, if you have a site like this, you want to have a really strong keyword focus, right? So I have the keyword slots, I want to rank with my homepage. I have the keyword online slots, I want to rank with my homepage. I have the keyword whatever, but really, define a keyword and which site is actually going to rank for that keyword. And you're actually sending mixed signals to Google. Take a look at this site, for example. So you have, this is the all slot machines, whatever. So you have some internal links here. So you have a site, slot machine, going to the page slotstop.com/slot-machine ASPX. Then you have the site slot machines going to slotstop.com/ASPX. And now it gets funny, so basically, okay, for every keyword, I have a single site for you, which is just stupid because you just really want to rank with all those terms with your home page. But it gets even funnier because you say, Google on this page, oh, here, online slots, Google, online slots you can find here on slotstop.com/online-slots ASPX. But on your footer, for example, basically, so a link on all of your pages. Jesus. What's wrong with that?
I was going to give you my slide, but I'm not now.
Well, but see, I mean, regardless,
Wait,
this is actually good.
Dude,
You don't know how to scroll down? Yeah, the computer's a little weak.
Explorer. Be nice.
Doesn't work. Okay, and here you're saying again, online slots is slots.com, right? So you're like, hey Google, online slots is here. No, it's here. No, it's here. On slot machine. Oh, dude, seriously. Really strong keyword focus. This is my page. It should rank for this keyword, that keyword. This is my title. This is my description. All internal links go with that particular anchor tags to that particular site. And don't just like, okay, for everything, blah, 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 and sending mixed signals. That's
Not
just
to
my
mention
point.
that you've got double anchor text going to 2 different pages, and more than likely your right sidebar is the first one they see it in.
So is there any variance in this?
No, it's definitely a good site. I mean, don't get us wrong. I mean, it's just there are definitely things that you can do to help improve your rankings and to get yourself out of and look better than the other sites out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a textbook example of something that's like grossly over optimized and too tight of a niche, right? It's like you're just like you're crapping on everything related to slots you can and in as many places as you can.
If anything, just some data re-architecture. I mean, take a look, combine a lot of the pages that you have together. I mean, online slots, or online slots don't necessarily need their own pages, especially if that's what you want to rank for the homepage on.
Do these pages work for you?
Actually, before he clicked on this page, he said, no, because they are something like a few months ago I uploaded, and I'm pretty sure you're right, okay? Because it kind of I'm not focusing on the main keywords, and you're right.
No, we're not. You're not pretty sure we are right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm pretty sure we were right. I mean, the thing was, it's like that sort of thing. Like 10 years ago, I used to have a program that used to just grab drop domains and do that, and I used to just like push hundreds of them out all the time, and it was like great fun. But it was so long ago. It's like it doesn't.
Dave,
work.
you made the internet what it is today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So guys, let's move on to the fun that I think people are looking forward to and where we rip open some big sites.
Just one question, sorry. Last one. So, what do you believe more is ranked well in Google, the CTR or the content? Because if someone gets into the top 10 and his CTR is pretty well, he should be there. That's right. So Google should look at the CTR.
Okay, so
and not the content. So if you can see a good CTR for the top 10, of course it's absurd, but they will stay there.
So what happens if I fake it to the top?
No, I didn't say fake it.
No.
I said just a new one.
What if I do fake it to the top, but I don't let my click-through rate go backwards? So, because I'm a bad guy, so I'm sending the right signals to Google, although I faked it to get there. And then once I'm there, I start getting real click-through data. Now I rebuild the site. No, I don't.
So my view is that they don't use it into the algorithm directly.
Positively, but negatively.
Well, but what I think they do use, though, I think they use it for data analysis. Right? They take that and they look at outliers, and they will manually look at outliers and say, are we doing something dumb here? Is this a poor search result? Do we need to improve our algorithm? It's definitely feeding back into that quality loop.
But I don't think it'll affect
feeding
an
directly
individual.
back into the algorithm.
Unlike Bing actually, if you get good CTR, then Bing will promote your website. So exit traffic galore.
Yeah, which I mean is like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I personally think that they look at it and they take it in as a factor. I don't think it directly affects the algorithm right at the moment, because then the only sites that were ever actually up there, the ones that get clicks, are the ones that are going to continue to rank. But even if they do include it, it's going to be like 0.001% of the algorithm. There are much more factors that you should be focusing on. It's not that important.
And it is more important to you for other reasons.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Your click-through rate is important to you, not just because it would help you rank better, but because more people will click on your website.
But this is relevancy. If it's relevant, it should be there. So the CTR is the...
Well, yeah, but there are a lot of things that should be relevant to Google that they don't really do.
Perfect example, I ranked number 5 in the UK for the keyword Forex. Okay? I'm like, yay, I'm going to be so rich. 23 uniques a day, I'm like, that's a bitch, flip it and push it to a different country. And I just wasn't getting the CTR on it, you know what I mean? It's like, but it was more of a, titles weren't really a call to action on it. It was more of a little kind of like mess around in an industry that I just wanted to test for a little while. And now I want to see how strong other countries are with what I've already built. So I'll move it around a little bit and see what my CTR through is on that. But
So
it didn't benefit me, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just, no.
So we're going to just go ahead and move along. I hope you got some great advice out of that. Our first big site that we want to look at today, we were talking about earlier, is Full Tilt. Obviously, everyone knows Full Tilt Poker. My first quick question, I'd like to pose this to all of them. These things have been around for a long time. I was one of the first guys that really maybe overgamed this back in my early days with Everest. So I'm curious, what do you guys think? The keyword-rich linked text at the bottom of a poker site, is there any value to it anymore?
Not when it's global like that.
Net neutral to negative.
Neutral to negative.
Yeah.
I'd give it a +1 out of like 100.
Yeah.
It's better than having no content on the page.
Yes, true. But why not make?
But they don't have no content on the page.
Yeah. In this,
The funny thing is
I think they could do this better, right?
you know where this comes from? This is the funniest thing about this. Where this comes from is for a period of time when everyone was really worried about conversion, but needed to have keyword density on the page, and keyword density was a big factor, most people hid these in no script tags, right? And so then Google changes.
Most people, you did. And he was ranking number 1. So it's-
Most smart people did.
I was yeah. So then what happened is that when Google said, "Oh, we're going to nail you for those no scripts. You got to cut it out," everyone in poker took their no script and put it at the bottom of the page, me included. And it's amazing to me. Here we are.
This
So
is cargo cult to me. This is everybody. The big guys do this. They rank number 1. This must be the right answer.
Must be the right thing to do.
So now everybody does
But
it.
see,
Well, when they rank to Google, I should rank to Google because that's the end game.
yeah.
I mean, sites like this don't rank because of little things like that. So you don't want to go out and try to copy them. I mean, sites like this rank because of the authority, the age of the domain, the ungodly amount of inbound links that they have that are actually really good quality.
The thing on their inbound links, the thing I love about Full Tilt's backlink profile is the way that they've got a bunch of awesome links from cool innovation. So they launch a Mac. I believe they have the nicest Mac poker client. Is that fair?
It's pretty accurate.
So they get links from all of the Mac fanboy sites, right?
Yeah.
Real, legitimate links that they probably didn't even have to pay for. They get links from TechCrunch. They get, And the cool thing is that also gets them users, right?
Yeah.
All of the Mac player, anybody who wants to play poker on a Mac also wants to use them, and they have money to burn, clearly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And
Well,
honestly, in
no,
iGaming, I mean, poker is one of the probably most
wanna just use
competitive
this?
and most advanced parts of the sites that are ranking. I mean, their SEO is pretty advanced.
but I definitely want to make the point of this, just so everyone notices once and for all, to demystify the giant block of keyword-rich text at the bottom. You don't have to do this just because Stars and Tilt and all these guys do it. I think a lot of why this is still around, in my opinion, working within these organizations and then also as an affiliate, is that the old SEO team did that. And people are like, well,
better not touch it.
we better not touch it. The old guys did that, and a lot of the great stuff that we have is because of them.
Yeah. And the theory is too, if it's not broke, don't try and fix it.
I like that theory, by the way.
I'm a fan of that. I mean, to be fair, I'm not certain I'd be taking that off the Full Tilt homepage.
I was going to say.
Right. No, exactly.
But if I was starting a new site, I wouldn't be
But
doing
this has made it through 3 different Full Tilt redesigns. Is my saying.
Well, which SEO is going to put the balls on the line and go, okay, I'd like to see that removed and just have the homepage like a nice big flash call to action. It's like,
Let's
Bob
change
Ray
to a
said it was
splash
okay to do it. Let's do it now. It's like,
so that everybody
the online poker, the whole index looks weird. What's going on? Where's all the big boys gone on?
So that it helps me out with my clients. Everybody rush home, take your home page, make it into a splash page, flash, with that as the link to your main page.
We had a question over.
Wait, quick. When something like that happens, when you're actually asking yourself, does this really help my site? Should I do that on my site? Basically just use common sense. Just go through it and just see how Google would actually see that. So Google goes to that site, basically goes through the code, and so we have everything in the footer. We have a couple of links in the footer, like sitemap, whatever, poker blog. Then they have the copyright by Full Tilt Poker, and now there's a whole piece of content with internal links, whatever. The bot will just think, if you could think, like, okay, this is like the bottom of the page, and now content is starting all over again with lots of internal links. It's like the same if you have like most of your sitemap down there, like the hotel sites or like Hotel New York, Hotel Amsterdam, whatever. And this is the thing where Google just think, the site's over and now that starts over again. Why should I really give any credit to the links to that internal links you actually put down there? It's like, doesn't really make sense.
We had one quick question on the topic.
Don't you think that's over SEOing if you're doing it like this, and you can get a penalty? And because this is a very big site with a lot of authority, it doesn't get penalized. for
No,
that.
I don't think you get penalised for that
No,
in
I don't think so.
any search. You know what I mean? It's like there's nothing wrong with having a bad design. could have got that content squeezed in within the design itself if needed be.
The only penalty I've seen that looks anything like a penalty for that is massive footer link over text over optimization. So not the text in the footer, but the links in the footer. That if you do that too much on too small a site, it tends to be a keyword specific. So just that one keyword drops out.
Yeah, I honestly doubt that this site would be getting penalized.
Yeah, because
the thing is, it's a misconception that you say SEO basically, if you do SEO, you can get penalized. The thing is, Google has nothing against SEO. Google has nothing against good SEO because that's like, you gotta help me, ranking good sites. They have an interest of ranking good sites number one, and they have a lot of sites with just shitty SEO and we can't rank them number one because we just can't do without algorithm. So it's really not a bad thing to use SEO, right? But there's like this one where really, okay, you're clearly into SEO, you're getting all those WordPress footer links, whatever, so you really want to try to make a fool on me. You don't have a single good link. You're trying all this internal link stuff down there, whatever, and you link to myself, fuck you.
Well, and there's still a case that can be made that for older browsers, other things, that this is actually helpful for their user to make sure they can get in the right place. So it's not, I don't think it helps a lot from an SEO standpoint, but it's not bad for the user, so I don't think it would ever incur penalties.
The only thing... These mics are shit, not very good. The only thing I would say, Bob, can you see where it says learn, chat, play poker with the pros, full tilt online poker software? If you scroll up slightly, my only criticism with this at the moment
is that it's up there.
Is it where it goes, learn, chat, and play with the pros? Full tilt poker was the only one. It's kind of like, it's just like a slightly rewritten piece of content. Why have that there, dude?
Yeah.
And if the footer links will actually just move down below that piece of content,
why not?
It wouldn't look so bad.
Yeah.
And just put a box around it. It's just
make it look nicer and maybe write it a little bit better. And actually, you got yourself some decent content right there.
Do a bit of CSS, put it on top of the HTML.
Oh yeah, content stacking is awesome.
Dude, and it's just horrible. All those internal links, like online poker, play online poker, and I get it in German. I don't have it in English. Play online poker and play. Oh, it's play online poker as well.
Play poker online.
In Germany, it's even different.
Yeah.
And and it goes all
online
to the same
room.
root page. Why would you want to do? It's not even an internal link. It's just okay. I want to rank for this. 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 Oh my god, this is desperate.
If you do the view source on this, the content that's right at the bottom that we're talking about is right at the top in the source. You know what I mean? It's like so. Just if you're telling Google this is the most important piece of content, at least style it to make it look like it's supposed to be important.
Yeah.
In which case, write it better, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with text could convert really well if you write it well and all the rest of it. So one of the things we're supposed to be talking about good stuff, right?
Yeah.
Ideas. I've got a couple of good ideas. I'm just going to throw them out there.
Yeah, because we don't have a lot of time left, so let's get to
So in the poker space, idea I had is everybody's seen the rise of the Q&A site recently, right? Quora. Stack Exchange. Stack Exchange grew 51% in December.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Let's get us some of that, right? So I found a site, outflopped.com. One of the big poker sites, you go buy it. It's on the Stack Exchange platform, and it's remarkably spam free. It's like real people maybe real people, who can tell, but they're sensible questions, interesting answers, getting voted up. It's like Forums 2.0, right? Nicely designed. People getting real help. There was a great post on Area 51, which is like the holding domain for Stack Exchange, where they talked about the metrics that they need to see before they launch a new Q&A site, which is like 80% of questions getting answered with a good answer above a certain volume. I think there's space for that in the poker market.
Well, and especially from the affiliate standpoint, right, where you can be asking questions relating to bonusing, to play in a lot of gaming sites on these places, and you're basically the right answer for it, and your link is potentially the link in there that goes to that site. So, and the biggest thing is that you probably won't see a lot of operators actually jumping on this as fast as affiliates can. Traditionally, that's the big space in gaming, right?
Be agile.
Yeah, just get it faster because they're still working through last year's marketing calendar,
Guys, I had a question about graphics and naming conventions for graphics. This particular site, a lot of the naming graphics, a lot of the names for the graphics are actually quite ambiguous. How important is it to name your graphics to support the content on the page?
I mean, as far as I would say, it's something I do. It's part of my SEO style guide is to make sure that if I'm going to do the job or I'm going to consult and recommend that you do it all across the board. It can definitely help in certain ways. How important is that factor in itself? It's like it's a very synergistic effect. When you have everything working together, you're going to have much greater ability to rank and get better signals than if you just have certain sections you're going after.
Well, and also because one of the big factors is all the noise that Google puts in there right now, right? So the images are part of that noise. So making sure that you're getting your images correctly only gives you an opportunity to fill another gap. You know?
I mean, the guy at the top, the guy with the beard up there somewhere, he's Chris, .png.
Yeah.
I would have probably named it differently.
Like Jesus, maybe?
But it's a tiny factor, right?
It is.
I mean, yes, name it something different, but it's not going to make the difference between first page and not first page.
Yeah.
True. And I mean, if you're in a newer space, I mean, if you look at the top 10 results for very highly competitive terms, I mean, you're talking about 0.01% variance in difference or 1% variance in difference between those top 10. So having that little extra or that tie-breaking factor that's very, very minor could move you from 9 to 8 or 7 or from 3.
Well, and also it's never bad to make a habit of always hitting your best practices, right? Especially if you work with a lot of other developers. I mean, one of the big things that I recommend for clients often when I first come in is, make sure that you've really set your workflow process in, and just list every single thing that you have to do for every page for development. And that's one of those things that you should do. Not that it's a big factor, but it's good to always make sure you're checking it off.
So do you see no value in appearing on image search at the top part of that?
So the question was, do you see any value of appearing on image search at the top?
In the casino industry?
Just as a factor. It may not convert, but getting eyes there and being across the board. I mean, you may show up in Google Universal because you're ranking well in image search. And if somebody clicks,
or you might get some links because people want to use your images.
No, they just hot link it,
Other casino side, if you went for like professional pro players and stuff like that, because you know that people will search for images. If you can pull those images in, at least you can maybe do like, you can play with Phil, you know what I mean?
The images do come through in the Google search as well.
Sure.
And another reason why you want to do it, at least from the brand operator standpoint, is just always maintaining that brand consistency and that visibility to make sure that when somebody looks for for the branded search stuff, you really want to make sure that you've got a nice array of what your most current imagery is, any promotional imagery showing up there for your brand, so that you're getting some visual, some little bit more stimulating click possibility on your bonuses, on your promotions. Unfortunately, it looks like we're only down to the last few minutes. We didn't get to as many sites as possible, and I know Will had a bit of a list that he was going through, I believe. No? Oh. Sorry.
He'll learn for next time.
He actually writes notes down.
Yeah, that's just because I'm too stupid to remember things. So I'm going to throw one other idea I had out there, since I'm whilst I'm arguing the force of doing cool stuff like Q&A sites. My other idea was I was chatting to a guy the other day from GitHub. Everybody know GitHub, the source code repository, awesome. If you're a developer, you should definitely be on there. So he's the lead developer on GitHub behind the firewall. So he works internally there. He just likes hacking shit together, building cool stuff. And this is my current favorite link building tactic, is stuff you can build and launch in 2 to 3 hours just for fun. And it doesn't have to, you relate it to the core thing, but it doesn't have to be too on topic. So the example he did was the day that Apple announced FaceTime, he hacked together, because he's awesome like this, a chat roulette style thing that used FaceTime, and launched it in 3 hours after the announcement, and then was on TechCrunch 3 hours later, got 1 million visitors, got 300,000 users, shut it down a week later, crap load of links, and just awesome, right? And that would work in this space, roulette, nice keyword, like do that kind of shit. And an example we did, which I coded, right, and that anybody who knows me knows that's a really bad idea, was a site called recruitmentcheck.com, which was just a spoof site. We get calls from recruiters all the time, people phoning up trying to tell us that they can find us the best C++ sharp F something developer who's got 25 years of experience and whatever. And we get a bit bored of it. So we built a spoof site. We said, if you want to be our supplier in this space, just go fill out the form at recruitmentcheck.com and we'll get back to you. Only it turns out that the form has some jQuery in it, so as you start filling it out, it just keeps adding questions, and the questions get more and more stupid. They start easy, like, what can you do for our business? And then they go all a bit Reddity, like, would you fight a bear for us? And it just gets a bit silly, and it's never ending. And that then went hot on Reddit, got however many thousand visitors, got a bunch of links, just for fun, really. But that's my current favorite link building tactic that I'd love to see more affiliates do, because I think you guys can be agile enough to do it, right? Get your devs building fun things, and make them related to what you do. So that was for a site in the recruitment space, but the chat roulette thing would work in the roulette space.
Do
More of that.
sell that site to a real recruitment agency and just flip it in?
So our next plan actually is to try and get it featured in some offline media. I want like the Times or somebody to cover it as a real resource for people trying to. We're going to change it. We're going to change it back to something that looks sensible, and then get it published. And just on the day they publish, change it back to a stupid one, and then tell Reddit we did it again.
So, I want to thank everyone for coming out for our panel. We went right into the demon SEO. So what we're probably going to do is just switch some seats up, change some people, and we'll just keep going if everyone's comfortable with that. Do we need to take a break? You guys want to take 5? Sure. Oh yeah, let's give them a hand. Sorry, guys.